horror story that's becoming all too real for thousands of homeowners.
Mortgages that they thought were paid off long ago are now coming back to haunt them, putting some at risk of ending up on the streets. National consumer correspondent Usher Qureshi reveals the growing threat of zombie debt.
So this is where the kids play?
This is where the kids played. My dream home is right here.
Jose Arzate can only show us from the street the 3-bedroom house he bought in Santa Maria, California 20 years ago. He planned to make it the family home for generations.
As an immigrant, you have a dream of owning your own home. It's your castle. It's for your family. It's not for you. It's for your grandkids, your sons.
Near retirement after 24 years as a county probation officer, Arzate woke up one morning to find his fellow law enforcement officers surrounding his home.
Just starting to do my normal things. Went out to check out my mail, and the sheriffs were waiting for me outside the door. And that's when they evicted me.
Did you have any idea that this was coming?
No, I had no idea. No idea.
The problem started 13 years ago. Arzate modified his loan, taking out a second mortgage to make ends meet. But he says he never got any bills for the second mortgage and assumed it was all rolled into the same monthly payment. Now he knows that second mortgage was sold to a different servicer, which years later brought it back from the dead. With interest and late fees, this so-called zombie loan more than doubled from $65,000 to nearly $140,000.
If you have a credit card and if you...
Now, I wonder if there was any language that says that, this particular second lien against the home will be silent or deferred for a certain period of time. And I wonder what the other language that was a part of this, that he signed on to. And it's unfortunate that, he didn't get any type of notices in the mail, but let's keep watching.
They should send you a bill every month. They're not doing that. They're just coming and evict you.
Federal law requires lenders to send statements for home loans so you know what you owe, but some don't.
It's wrong. It's unethical, it's immoral, and it's wrong.
California realtor Rich Sherman has seen it happen to dozens of his clients.
And here we are 5, 10, 15, 20 years on. Well, our record is 22 years on, and suddenly it comes back to life to eat your equity. It's completely ridiculous. And if you don't pay up, they take your house.
Arzate's home was auctioned to the highest bidder. He's suing to get it back and still making his monthly mortgage payments. How much does it hurt that you're not in there?
It hurts a lot. It hurts a lot.
While his wife stays with family out of state to save money, he's bunking with his son's family in a home bursting at the seams.
Whoa, that's insane. So you got foreclosed on. They sold the house to the highest bidder, and you're still making payments on the original mortgage. Now, this does sound predatory, right? Like, this sounds almost like what we saw in 2008, right? Which essentially, those are predatory too. Now that we can look back, because you could have worked at McDonald's and they was putting you in a $700,000-800,000 home, right? But even this, the way that this is done, and I'm not a lawyer, but based on how they're interpreting the federal law, where they have to send you something in the mail, he may have a case, and hopefully he has a really good lawyer. And this story is actually catching wind nationally now, because it sounds like there's a lot of people that have these things. So could we be setting up for a potential housing crash because of zombie mortgages? I don't know, but let's check it out.
In today's Money Watch, a warning to consumers about debt that may come back to haunt you. Potentially tens of thousands of homeowners are suddenly facing possible foreclosure after making mortgage payments one time for years. National consumer correspondent Usher Qureshi is here with what you need to know about so-called zombie mortgages. Usher, good morning.
Good morning, Nate. Well, if you've ever taken out a second loan on your home, you could end up with something that turns into a zombie mortgage. This can happen when you lose track of your loans and your lender isn't sending you statements regularly, making sure you pay on time. You miss payments, that adds up, and then the debt collector can come after your home.
This is gorgeous.
Thank you.
Your little sanctuary.
Sanctuary, yes.
After this Iraq War veteran came home to California, she built her own tranquil backyard getaway to find a little peace after years in a battle zone.
Sure.
And what do you use this space for?
Meditation, for sure.
A home she calls the heart of her family. But last year, after more than a decade of paying her mortgage on time, Laverne Simmons found out she could lose it all. Were you surprised when you got that notice of default 10 years after you got your loan modification.
Definitely. I haven't been late or asked for a payment arrangement or anything.
When Simmons took out a second mortgage in 2014, she believed her new monthly payment covered both her original mortgage and her second, but she was mistaken. When you buy a house, federal law requires your lender to send out periodic statements so you know how much you owe. Simmons says over 10 years on her second mortgage, she never got one. With interest and late fees piling up, her original $65,000 loan ballooned to more than $140,000.
Dang. Woo. They hit her with the double whammy. My God.
She has to pay up or lose her home.
They were ready to strike, like a snake, you know? It was waiting for the right moment.
Her loan servicer, Real Time Resolutions, recently...
Okay, I was getting ready to say they need to start throwing names out here so that people can say, hey, we're not going to go to that company if we got to refinance. Or, you know, you can ask your mortgage company, hey, who are you all selling this to, right? Just so you can steer clear of these folks, because this sounds like something that was like pre-thought of or pre-planned. Like, hey, let's make the mortgage silent for a little while and then take the home, you know, or let the interest pile up, which banks, that's what they do, right? They want to make money, and they don't care if it's illegal, right? They'll probably get sued, you know, they'll pay a fine, and it's not a person, it's a machine. This is how they operate, and then they'll just go on about business and possibly think of another way to do it again.
Settled a class action lawsuit with a different homeowner who claimed she'd been foreclosed on without ever receiving the required monthly statements. RTR denied wrongdoing and told us they aren't interested in speaking with us.
It's been pure hell. I served my country. I got injured in Iraq. I come home, and this is what I have to go through as a veteran.
Exhausting me.
Yes.
She turned to California realtor Rich Sherman, who says he's seen it happen to more than
Rich Sherman out here in these streets.
100 homeowners like Simmons. Now he's helping some of them fight to keep their homes.
And what happens is the debts get sold in the secondary market to these, what I call vulture capitalists, who buy these things for pennies on the dollar, and then they turn around and they try to enforce the full face value of the loan, including all the back interest, all the back penalties, and everything else.
How is this legal?
In many cases, it's not. We're really worried that this is a predatory scam, and we want to stop it.
Rohit Chopra is the director of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
This is
Okay, it's good that he's stepping up. And you know, it's so hard to deal with the CFPB because they're so automated, especially online. But it's a good thing that he's stepping up and handling this or assisting people with this, because this could potentially, you know, cause a market crash if there are a lot of these things floating around.
is a big failure from the lead up to the financial crisis, where regulators in Washington weren't watching what was happening on the ground in local communities.
Are you hopeful that you're going to win this battle?
I hope so. I'm determined to fight for my home. I'm definitely determined. And if I lose this, I don't know what I'll do. I don't know.
So to protect yourself, you should start by checking your credit report. If you have a mortgage, make sure there isn't a lien on your property that you've lost track of. And if you do get a bill that appears to be for zombie debt, don't pay it immediately. Instead, investigate, ask for proof, and consider contacting an attorney or your local legal aid counsel to try and help navigate the process.
And also, if it doesn't show up on your credit, you can reach out to a title company and have them do a title search, and they can pull up all liens. So if you've taken out a second one and you just want to be sure, just reach out to a title company. They can find the lien for you if there is a lien against your property.
I mean, look, people obviously should stay on top of their financial matters and their bills. Checking their credit report is great advice, channeling Joe Schlesinger here. But at the same time, it feels like you shouldn't be liable for something you're not getting a bill for.
Right.
They need to deliver it to you.
Exactly. And the thing about this is it's not just mortgage payments, right? Zombie debt can happen with student loans, auto loans, medical debt as well. So you've got to be more vigilant about keeping track of these things, especially when you're not getting regular bills or you think you should be getting regular bills and they're not coming.
And so many banks are also trying to offer people loans. You get stuff in the mail all the time. So like people are susceptible to all of these new products out there.
Yeah.
And then it's, you know, we don't understand the fine print. The stuff is tricky.
Yeah, do your own investigating, right?
Anybody out there, if you have a second mortgage or, you know, you took out, you know, a line of credit or whatever against your house, make sure you get that in order, because you don't want to be, you know, even if you have a case, you get evicted. Now you got to go through court battles for years, right? Just to get this stuff sorted out. And then it gets complicated because then they done sold the house to somebody else, right? So, this is a complicated matter for these folks. It sounds like the first guy is in a worse position than the lady. The lady, she's in a better position where she can possibly keep her home. Just she's going to start making payments. But the other guy, his home has already been foreclosed on and it's already been sold. So that's a very sticky situation. I'm interested in anybody watching. Have you or are you going through this situation? If you are, feel free to comment below. And, as always, let's try and help other people if they are going through this, because if there's too much of this out here, and if people, if there's a wave all at one time of people being foreclosed on, it could lead to another housing crash. Thanks for watching.